Hello my friends. Today, in this video, we will talk about first SUV electric car from Volkswagen family. ID.4, electric crossover car. It is based on the VW electric MEB platform, and it is the second model in the ID series. The production version of the ID.4 debuted in September 2020 as the first fully electric crossover SUV under the Volkswagen brand. The ID.4 is positioned by Volkswagen as a high-volume, mass-market electric vehicle, a car for the millions, not the millionaires, as the company claimed in its advertising. It was delivered to the European customers from late 2020, and the first quarter of 2021 for the North American market. The coupe-shaped variant of the ID.4, similar to the Audi e-tron Sportback, will be sold in Europe as the ID.5. The ID.4 was elected World Car of the Year 2021 over runner-ups Honda e and Toyota Yaris. The ID.4 was previewed the ID Cross and ID Cross 2 concept cars, which debuted in 2017 at the Shanghai and Frankfurt Auto Show, respectively. A prototype version of the ID.4 appeared in camouflage at the 2019 Frankfurt Motor Show, discreetly so as not to steal the show from the first electric mass-market vehicle of the German brand, the ID.3. The production version was unveiled globally on September 23, 2020. Unlike the ID.3, which is oriented mainly for the European market, the ID.4 also targeted the North American region as one of its core markets. Volkswagen Group of America CEO Scott Keogh went as far as saying the ID.4 drives like a GDI, it has the packaging of a Tiguan and the purpose of the Beetle, to emphasize its driving dynamics, design, and technology. At launch, the electric SUV is solely offered with rear-wheel drive and an electric motor located at the rear axle, with the dual-motor all-wheel drive version following later. First sales were for the ID.4 First Edition, which differs in some interior and exterior features from the series' production models. Headlights and taillights are mostly LED lamps on the ID.4, with matrix LED lights being an optional feature. The front features a low-positioned air inlet behind which the radiator and parts of the air conditioning system are located. Short overhangs and a wheelbase of 2,766 mm add up to a length of 4,584 mm. Wheels are offered in 18 to 21-inch sizes. RWD models can tow a maximum of 1,000 kg braked with an optional tow bar and fits roof rails as standard. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are offered as standard, in addition to an optional augmented reality head-up display, HUD. In addition to the 5.3-inch driver display, the ID.4 features a 10-inch infotainment screen, though an optional 12-inch screen is available. By default, the vehicle includes a light strip below the windscreen providing visual cues related to certain functions such as the state of charge when charging or brake alerts, which VW calls ID Light. An optional heat pump extending range under low-temperature conditions is offered or even fitted as standard in certain markets such as Canada and uses a R744 CO2 refrigerant. It is claimed to heat the cabin 2 to 3 times more efficiently than a resistant heater. The boot offers 543 liters of volume and 1,575 liters when the rear seats are folded, although the vehicle does not offer a storage compartment at the front end, frunk. The ID.4 is fitted with the AP310 drive of the underlying MEB platform, which consists of a water-cooled brushless permanently excited synchronous machine positioned at the rear axle. The motor produces between 109 to 150 kilowatts, 146 to 201 horsepower of power, and up to 310 Nm of torque, revolving at speeds of up to 16,000 revolutions per minute. Together with the 1-speed gearbox and the power electronics, the entire drive unit weighs around 90 kilograms. The ID.4 recuperates energy when braking as standard, with up to 0.25 grams. If the driver lifts their foot off the accelerator pedal, the vehicle is set to coast along in order to preserve energy, with the motor freely rotating. However, the vehicle can be set to recuperate instead, again with forces of up to 0.25 grams. When stronger deceleration is required, the vehicle uses conventional hydraulic brakes. The battery consists of a lithium-ion battery pack which houses 9 battery modules in 10 compartments, for pure models, or 12 modules, for pro models, containing the individual battery cells, 24 per module, in a rectangular aluminum casing, which sits in the vehicle's underbody. While the smaller battery holds an energy content of 55 kilowatt-hours, of which 52 kilowatt-hours are made available to the user, the larger pack comes in at 82/77ths of a kilowatt-hour. The battery's thermal management system is designed to maintain the battery's temperature around the ideal range of 25 degrees Celsius and utilizes liquid cooling. For the European market, the ID.4 is available with 3 electric motor options. The versions with 146 horsepower, 109 kilowatts, or 168 horsepower, 125 kilowatts, are powered by a 52 kilowatt-hours battery pack, while the version with the larger 77 kilowatt-hours battery produces 201 horsepower, 150 kilowatts, and has a WLTP range of up to 520 kilometers on a single charge. The range-topping model is capable of a 0 to 100 km per hour sprint in 8.5 seconds. An AWD variant of the ID.4, marketed as the ID.4 GTX in Europe, accelerates 0 to 96 km per hour in 5.7 seconds, and 0 to 100 km per hour in 6.2 seconds. The ID.4 is produced at the Volkswagen's Zwickau-Mosel plant in Germany and will also be built at the company's Emden plant from 2022. For the North American market, the motor develops 201 horsepower, 150 kilowatts, and 309 Nm of torque, capable of towing up to 1,225 kilograms. Powered by an 82 kilowatt-hours battery pack positioned in the underbody, the configuration offers a range of 402 to 418 kilometers on a full charge on the EPA cycle, depending on version. A more powerful, electric all-wheel drive variant with an additional 94 horsepower, 70 kilowatts, motor and an overall 295 horsepower, 220 kilowatts, will follow later in Q4 2021 and be priced at $43,675 before incentives. In the US, the ID.4 will also come with 3 years of fast charging with Electrify America for no additional cost. As of 2021, US versions do not include the Matrix LED headlights, augmented reality head-up display or heat pump. In 2022, the ID.4 is to enter production at the Volkswagen Chattanooga plant, Tennessee, with vehicles sold in the North American market prior to then being sourced from Zwickau, Germany. The Volkswagen ID.4 is available as 2 variants in China called the ID.4X and the ID.4 Cross. The two variants feature slightly different styling and are produced by SAIC Volkswagen and FAW Volkswagen respectively. The ID.4 Cross is similar to the European ID.4, and is offered with a smaller battery and a range of 400 km and 125 kW of power, as well as a longer-ranged version offering 550 km of range, according to the NEDC test, and 150 kW of power. A high-performance version with dual-motor all-wheel drive and 225 kW as well as 520 km of range is to be released as well. For the SAIC Volkswagen ID.4X, the car gains 20 mm in length, mainly through the addition of a different bumper.